Jane Doe is still on direct. Now, there's a few issues. There's a few issues going on. There's anonymity issues, but I personally believe that it's impossible for people to remain anonymous despite in this high profile of a case. I've heard a few people suggest that Akademiks might be that, and this is the warning I heard, that if I do potentially show up to this trial, that the judge might actually bring me before the court because I've spoken about some of the identities of some people who are anonymous or was supposed to be anonymous. Now, I'm not in that court, okay? And how I choose to conduct my stream is how I choose to conduct my stream via the First Amendment. And by the way, truth be told, we got lawyer money. If it takes that, we're not switching nothing up. We'll get a lawyer. We'll fight whatever. It's cool. There's anonymity issues. I just think it's impossible for you to really be a Jane Doe or a Mia without people figuring out who you are. We've told you guys, Mia is Sarah Schnecker. We've told you guys, Jane Doe is Daphne Joy's 50 Cent baby mom. Now, who's more easier for them to hold accountable for maybe doxing these anonymous people are the people who showed up to court. Again, I was told that the judge is interested in hearing what I've had to say about the trial because they feel the chat is too strong and that you guys figured out what's going on. If that is the case, we will, and if they show up, my address is on Google, just like every troll that shows up here, like every rapper who threatens me. This is not a private, this is not nobody knows where Ak is at. Y'all know exactly where I'm at.
I'm Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV, and we got Monic, DJ Akademiks, and apparently the feds have a problem with him and the chat exposing who the Jane Does are in the Diddy case. Now, if you don't know, the Diddy case is happening. It's been going on for 19, today will be day 20, but 19, 20 days now. And while the prosecution is laying out everything they possibly can to hang this nigga Diddy up, they are doing a bad job of not letting the defense create doubt amongst their witnesses. Because if you ask me, the defense is doing a good job of that. Because if I was in the jury, I would be like, wait, this witness lied about that? Why are they credible? Wait, that wasn't true? Wait, they're right. It isn't much evidence to kind of support that Diddy blew up Kid Cudi car. Now, while it makes sense and I kind of do believe it, if I'm going off evidence, it's not enough. As Kendrick Lamar would say in TV Off, it's not enough. So I think the defense is doing a good job of that. But at the same time, the prosecution is laying out a lot, especially with Jane Doe, who we know to be 50 Cent's baby mama, Daphne Joy. Now, like I said, the courts, they're having a issue with that. And apparently, they want to talk to DJ Akademiks about it. Let's listen.
We got to get into this Diddy and Cassie case. Thank you guys for tuning in. I've been off a bender. Somebody says, Miss B says, get to the Diddy shit, man. Somebody give, somebody give Miss B some baby oil in the chat. She wants to get to it. It's all good. And chat, by the way, we're not dissing Drake. What I'm trying to say is that, we understand our value. A lot of times y'all say this stupid shit like, Ak is he's like a side chick. He just gets abused by Drake or whoever. Like, Drake doesn't want to. My nigga, this is business. There's millions of dollars constantly at stake. We're the only exclusive outlet that has a ear to him or a line to him. It values something for us. It values something for him. We're one of the biggest outlets when it comes to narrative. It works for both of us. We're not saying that I love his music. He says and he fucks with what I do, but without those main stakes in there, what do you think this is? Do you think this is all friends? No. Same with the week, yo. Right when this didn't I told y'all this. Right when this whole battle, nigga, I was on Joe Budden podcast when he DM'd me. The battle was just about to start. This is another reason I knew EXO don't like OVO. The Weeknd DM'd me for the first time ever, and he said, it's moments like this I wish you and Joe were still doing Everyday Struggle. Nigga, I know what that means now. Nigga, now it means, yo, we finna turn this nigga's TV off. We need y'all niggas to narrate the shit. And the biggest battle happened in history, which we didn't have to do Everyday Struggle, but I constantly told Joe, we did Everyday Struggle. You did over there with your podcast. I did it on stream. Just remember that, chat. You're only as important as what people think that people will cross you or violate you if they feel you have no value. Keep your value up, and they're still going to cross you. But it'll be a lot less of them, especially when you think business-wise. Trust. Put like this. Let me ask y'all a question. You think if I hit up Kendrick team, I can't get tickets? Be honest. You think I can't get tickets? It's not that serious, my nigga. If anything, they're going to see the business play. Oh, shit, maybe Ak's trying to fuck with us. Ak want to be with us. Ak might be not fucking with that guy who we're trying to, in the overall picture, okay, let's give him that. Bring him here, give him a TDE shirt, give him the best shit, have him like dap it up with so-and-so on camera. It's going to make the other nigga, this is chess. Are y'all stupid? The funny thing is when I hear people break down me and what I do, I'm like, how come y'all think y'all smarter than me, but y'all ain't me? Nigga, what I say and what I do is two different things. If y'all think y'all playing 3D chess. Anyway, back to this thing. So day 19. Holy shit. Day 19 on the Diddy trial. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Okay. So here's where we're at, people. Here's where we're at. Jane Doe is still on direct. Now there's a few issues. There's a few issues going on. There's anonymity issues, but I personally believe that it's impossible for people to remain anonymous despite in this high profile of a case. I've heard a few people suggest that Akademiks might be that, and this is the warning I heard, that if I do potentially show up to this trial, that the judge might actually bring me before the court because I've spoken about some of the identities of some people who are anonymous or was supposed to be anonymous. Now, I'm not in that court, okay? And how I choose to conduct my stream is how I choose to conduct my stream via the First Amendment. And by the way, truth be told, we got lawyer money. If it takes that, we're not switching nothing up. We'll get a lawyer. We'll fight whatever. It's cool. There's anonymity issues. I just think it's impossible for you to really be a Jane Doe or a Mia without people figuring out who you are. We've told you guys, Mia is Sarah Schnecker. We've told you guys, Jane Doe is Daphne Joy's 50 Cent baby mom. Now, who's more easier for them to hold accountable for maybe doxing these anonymous people are the people who showed up to court. Again, I was told that the judge is interested in hearing what I've had to say about the trial because they feel the chat is too strong and that you guys figured out what's going on. If that is the case, we will, and if they show up, my address is on Google, just like every troll that shows up here, like every rapper who threatens me. This is not a private, this is not nobody knows where Ak is at. Y'all know exactly where I'm at. So the judge could also send a subpoena over here, could send a federal agent, and if a federal agent gives me a subpoena that I got to show up to court to speak about why I have spoken about the people that were supposed to be anonymous and link them to people who, both of these people, or at least one of them, public figures, will show up with a lawyer and our chat nigga, I need a chat nigga suit for that. We'll do it. I don't think that's likely to happen, but if it does happen, fuck it, right? So this is day 19. That's one of the big issues, right? So it says there's issues on anonymity, okay? Now, there's a few people in court. There's someone named Tisa Tells. While she was getting at someone else, she damn near doxed someone else. She doxed somebody in a trial. So they're going through these things. The reason why it does matter, chat, is that, say Jane Doe, when she goes home and now it's on all the blogs, yo, that's 50 Cent baby mama. The bullying, the harassment, all the things that come with why she wanted to be Jane Doe, she might change her statements. Okay? That would, in fact, interfere with the court proceedings, and it could get a little bit sticky.
And I can understand that as well, but I think the judge also needs to be aware that when you're doing a trial that isn't on cameras for the public to see, number one, the only way we're really understanding what people look like in there is through drawings. And when you're doing a trial and people are, live tweeting it and live tweeting the statements, and as Jane Does get up there, we come to find out who they are, because the prosecution kind of has to get into their personal life to really hang Diddy how they want to. So they have to kind of reveal certain things without being specific. But these certain hints and details are enough for some light bulbs to go off in people's heads and for people to go, hey, I think this is that person. And then more gets said, and it's like, oh, it's definitely her. You can't like be upset at anybody, to be honest. Now, while you do have certain people in the court that probably are in there like, oh, that's her, and then they're coming back and their thing is exposing it all and telling it all, so they don't give a fuck. They're like, oh yeah, that's who in there. At the end of the day, it's not like it wasn't going to be found out later. Like it's not like nobody was going to find it out at some point. Like at some point, niggas was going to know. And it was going to be spread, and Jane Doe and whoever this Mia chick is, both who we know who they are, they're just going to have to fucking deal with it. At the end of the day, this is one of the biggest hip-hop trials of all time. Up there with R. Kelly, up there with just anybody. If not the biggest hip-hop trial of all time. No. There was no way, whether they wanted to stay anonymous or not. And I think that's the thing too, that the prosecution even knew that, no matter what, whether they are Jane Doe, Anonymous, Mia or not, and they get on that stand, niggas gonna find out who they are, because we're gonna ask them the questions that we need to ask them. So I think that was just the prosecution going, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, we'll grant you anonymity. We'll call you a different name, and yeah, we'll grant you Jane Doe. We will make sure that your identity is protected. No, we want to give this nigga 20 years. So, sorry. Wait, you ain't you the rapper, a rapper's baby mama as well? Yes. Oh, who was Diddy fucking with that was a rapper? Like 2 and 2. That's all it took. Just a little thought process. So you can't be really mad at anybody or asking anybody or subpoenaing anyone to come sit down with you just because niggas are figuring out who is, Either way, let me know what y'all think in the comments below. I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Peace.